Ladies, gentlemen, and every gorgeous person out there, I would like to welcome you to the show. I am your host, Virtua Lily, and today I wanted to share with you some of the awesome VRChat worlds that my cat screams at me with. Fucking Christ. What? What? You have food and water. Trust me. Anyway, today I want to share with you some of the cool VRChat worlds that I use to chill out and relax. Sort of when I don't know what much to do and still want to kind of do something at the least. If I'm not in too much of a mood to socialize, but also if I also want to invite and chill with a friend or two, and also kind of just, take a house choice on what experience I would like to do on this episode of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Virtual Galaxy. And first up, if you ever just need time to sort of sit down and relax, touch some grass a bit, and get away from it all, well, when I'm in one of those moods, I like to chill out in some of the really pretty fishing worlds that exist in VRChat. Using a prefab created by Suzu Seisakusho, you can now spend hours exploring the virtual waters of this incredibly intuitive lure fishing system. There's nothing like sitting down and maybe having a couple of cold ones with the crew and sort of soak in the moment. The casting feels good, and having to find out some of the best fishing spots to reel in your lure is so much fun. And honestly, there is no better feeling than just relaxing and just taking your time with some awesome fishing. Some of these worlds, such as the Kon Fishing Lake, does take a lot longer to find your catch, and sometimes I've spent hours and caught maybe one or two fish, which is really nice and authentic if you're looking for that really sort of realistic experience. And you never know if it's going to be a good day or not for fishing, so honestly just hop in and just take in the moment. However, if you're looking for a bit more of an easier catch, well, you're going to have to head out into more open waters. There are a lot of fishing worlds out there that use the exact same system, and the catch rate can be a lot more abundant. It can also be so much more fun when grabbing some friends and seeking to catch all the local fish first. Or if you just want to sort of get your dystopian virtual dose of vitamin D. And some of those open water vibes. So I highly recommend going fishing and sort of exploring what you can find out there. Not to mention, these worlds are so pretty and just have such a lovely, relaxing vibe to them. Next up, we have driving worlds. Now, there's something about tearing it up in empty city streets and blasting music, drifting around corners, that I find really therapeutic in a sense. Personally, in real life, I don't drive, and when it comes to virtual reality, I spend days drifting around courses in Drift Harbor. The vehicles are super slidey, and with this sort of handbrake system by pulling down your left joystick, you can glide around corners really effortlessly. So, although you will need some practice before going all out, the atmosphere of the world alongside the fun courses to lap around, mixed with the drifting mechanics, make the worlds one of my all-time favorites. And as well as this awesome camera system that has this awesome motion blur and post-processing effects on it, the onboard players to plug in your own music, it's so much fun. However, it's not the only driving world out there, and some of these worlds get really intuitive, and I actually like to learn how to drive using some of these worlds, such as the worlds created by Varneon. The vehicles here are coded to be as realistic as possible, with fully functioning foot pedals for full body users, manual and automatic cars, and a super realistic driving experience that makes this an ideal place to get as close to the real driving experience as possible. The creator is developing more driving tools and worlds, so I do highly recommend keeping an eye on their socials for all those awesome posts. Trust me, every time Varneon posts, I am mind blown every single time. And, you can also have your own fun time in some of their drifting time trial worlds, which have similar mechanics and is also Quest compatible. So if you're sort of looking just to sort of, drive away and, see how well you can take the corners, then I highly recommend going and exploring some of the drifting worlds. And finally, I gotta give my time to some of the incredible flight worlds out on VRChat. This is based on a flight system developed by Sachan, and there have been some really fun ways to travel in VR, but none is more satisfying than flying fighter jets in large environments, testing your pilot skills, and getting to taste that realistic flight sort of concept. There are a lot of communities out there that have grown around flying and even taking notes from real-life systems and actual flight techniques. And if you want to know more about those, well, I highly recommend watching Fia's video about those cool people. However, if you're like me and a little shy but just want to fly around, you can spend so much time mastering the different designs, the capabilities of different models and planes, and whilst trying some really fun challenges that are just there for you to discover. And, going through some of these trials and pushing myself to master the skies, I'm now fairly confident in weaving around obstacle courses and taking really, really hard, sharp turns. I still have to sort of get a better hand on, the landing. That's not my strongest suit. However, these worlds sort of, bring that awesome sense of peace and calm as you're soaring through the skies, planning your routes, and sort of detaching yourself from the planet just for a little bit. Or you can really just test your motion sickness sensibility. And a bonus shout out to RESONARK. I want to cover this in another video, but a lot of the time I will visit these rhythm games that exist in virtual reality, featuring songs from Obake and Tash, Camellia, and more awesome producers. There's 4 worlds created by Septem at the moment, and the latest one is currently being updated as we speak, so do give that a check out when you can. And that's all I have for you today, and some of these worlds and experiences that I do and use to sort of relax and just, vibe in. So thank you all so much for vibing with us today, and please hit that like and subscribe buttons for updates and more chaos, and appreciate y'all. Be homie sensual. Toodaloo.
I'm gonna fart!
I consent.
I consent to blow and win, bitches!
Oh,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I want that on my tombstone. When my time comes,
I'm gonna
I'm gonna fart on my tombstone.